Okay, I'm going to start now. Okay, I'm at the house of John Byron, and today we're going to test the remote Sentry alarm. This would be useful if you have one and you have a power out situation and you're using water, but you don't know exactly how high it is in the tank. First, the remote Sentry comes with a 3 batteries inside, and it has a little buzzer. It's easy to test the buzzer itself just by pushing the test button on the remote Sentry. But what we're going to do today is we're actually going to test the wires between the remote Sentry and the control panel to make sure everything's working together. So what we're going to do on this one is we're going to run. John has put 25 gallons of water in his tub. And now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the power to the pump, like the regular test, and I'm also going to turn off the power to the alarm. So now, the alarm is not going to go off here. Did you let the water down? Yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, so John let the water down. The water's going to go into the tank. And the alarm that we're going to wait for is the alarm from the remote Sentry. It's not this alarm. And the idea is to make sure that in a power out that John will be able to get the alarm from the remote Sentry when the high level goes off. Now I did notice one other thing when I was looking at John's control panel. Right here, he's got some wires coming in from underneath, but he also has a penetration in the back of the panel. The person who installed this, it was easier for them to put a hole through the back of the panel to connect directly into the house wiring. And this is not recommended because water can get through that connection more easily than through the bottom. And that hole through the back also has not been sealed, so the atmosphere on a foggy day, condensation can get through and get into the inside of the panel. And the panel actually on the inside looks fine, but in 10 years from now, that moisture may have simply led to more corrosion over time eventually. And so that should be sealed up just to keep the panel in good condition. The water is filling into the grinder pump right now, and it takes a few minutes before it'll actually get high enough to put the alarm off. So in the meantime there, I'll simply show this diagram again, which is the diagram of the grinder pump. It shows that the alarm level is at 47 gallons, and the remote Sentry should go off at 47 gallons. And during a power outage, that alarm will go off, and that'll tell you that you have 23 gallons left of reserve. And during a power outage, the normal alarm will not go off. So the remote Sentry is very handy to have in the power outage. But it's nice if you're going to be testing your alarm once a year and you have a remote Sentry. It's a nice idea to test the alarm in a way that makes the remote Sentry go off also. And that's what we're trying to do right now. John has previously checked his serial number. He had 437. So his serial number is good. And didn't you say you also found the date of manufacture on the inside of your...
June 2012.
2012, yeah. The serial number is the most important thing, because if that's below 350, then you have a problem. Okay, so we're just going to wait for the alarm to go off here. And just have to wait. John actually ran the alarm test on the 12th of 12/13, yeah, in December. Earlier in the month he ran the alarm test. He put a note there. So also I noticed what I have here is at the hardware store I got some of this duct seal. It only costs about $3. You get 1 pound of it, and this is the stuff that they used on my panel when they came and did their inspection. FR Mahoney will do an inspection for you. And I noticed that I was talking with John, he did not get an inspection from FR Mahoney on this panel, but he's probably entitled to it because this is less than 2 years old and he's still within his warranty period. If he calls them up, they will probably come out and do an inspection of his system. Probably he may not need it now because he's had it for over a year and it's working fine, but he could still get one for free. When they came and did mine, they sealed this conduit with this duct seal, and they put that on my invoice, and I noticed that. I picked some of this up at the hardware store, and it's just a material like dough that you can actually push into here, and John might be able to use some of that in the back there also to seal it. And that's probably the only thing I see now. I don't hear an alarm going off, even though, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn on the alarm here. Now this alarm is going off when I turn it on. So the, John, is the remote sentry going off?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay, and John said the remote sentry is going off too. Is it making a louder noise than before? It's just making that same type of noise?
Just beeped once.
You're kidding. It's not going?
Just beeped once, Dave.
Huh. Well, I'm not crazy about that. I would say that seems to be a problem because beeping once is not going to be good enough. We haven't run this test before, but I thought that would seem to work fine. So what's happening here is this alarm is working no problem, but the remote sentry is not actually detecting the alarm condition. The remote sentry is not going off, right?
Went off again.
Oh, so it's beeping periodically?
Just beeped once.
Another time? Okay, well let's just wait. Maybe it's beeping infrequently. Oh, okay, let's see. Well, I don't see it doing anything. The water level is high. Oh, did you just flush the toilet? Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't want to put too much water in there. It's the exact same switch it runs off of. The alarm out there is working, so the switch is definitely working. And the remote sentry should be getting the signal to put off the alarm. But for some reason, it's not either putting out a continuous alarm or it's... You say it went off once?
Yeah, went beep.
And that was just one time?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it? Okay, well I'm going to say we're going to have a problem here. We'll have to look into this. I would say that... Yeah, doesn't look good to me. I would say this is not adequate. So we're going to have to look into this, and right now we'll just say that this is a fail, but we'll look into this later. Okay?